Let's talk utilities and warranties, something which many students learn on an ITIL foundation course, but unfortunately, after class, do nothing with it. So let me try and deal with this. Firstly, for those who are not that familiar with utilities and warranties, or have since forgotten, let's first understand utilities and warranties. Utility relate to the functionality offered by a product or service to meet a particular need. Utilities describe what the service or product does and can be used to determine whether the service or product is fit for purpose. Utilities define the required functional values. Utilities relate to what the service or product does, or in fact, what the customer wants. However, warranty is the assurance that a product or service will meet agreed requirements. Warranties describe how the service or product performs and can be used to determine whether a service or product is fit for use, and typically addresses areas such as ensuring sufficient availability, capacity, service levels and continuity, etc. And of course, engenders confidence that the agreed conditions will be met. Both utilities and warranties evaluate whether or not a service, product or service offering will facilitate the required outcomes desired by the customers and create value for them. So in summary, let's say that you want to book a hotel and one of the utilities, the functional values which you want, is on-site car parking. However, when you arrive, you find that the car park is full of potholes and/or is not securely gated. These would be deemed as warranties. If we use an IT-related example, you as a user have the facility to contact technical support for technical help. This is a utility, a functional value. However, the support team are unable to resolve the issue because they simply do not have the knowledge to provide such support. Or maybe there is no one available to speak to because they do not have the capacity to meet the demand. These relate to warranties. And in this example, the outcome for the consumer is not a good one. So now let's put theory into practice. Management sit around the table discussing stuff. Often there is nothing or very little made visible, other than of course a cup of coffee. I'm only playing now. However, how can we make decisions if such data or information is not made visible? For example, we could use a database and populate this for each service with all of its underpinning utilities and warranties, all of which are codified. This way we can make visible the functional values, the utilities, which we have agreed to provide to the customer, and equally make visible our committed investment to ensure we fulfill our promise, the warranties. Let's look at an example. We could make utilities and warranties visible something like this, rather than sat in someone's head or back pocket, or hidden away on a desk file somewhere, or rather than just talking the walk with little, if at all, any impact, we could start walking the talk and have more of a positive impact, such as making visible the committed, agreed utilities regarding this service, the payroll service, along with the descriptions. And of course, the associated warranties. And one utility can have one or more associated warranties. This will help in a plethora of ways, such as identifying where we do not have the capacity to meet the demand, or where training and education is needed, or where there is unnecessary investment in areas that either should be made redundant or redesigned, and it goes on. All that said, I do accept that this would be, of course, challenging for those organisations who have never defined the services in the first place, which suggests to me that these organisations, albeit are doing stuff such as building and fixing things, are actually managing very little, meaning they are not open to audit and measurement, and where decision making is based more on second guessing rather than fact.